Today. Of course, in many ways, we have gone back to the 70s. I mean, all the news from last week suggested that we are taking a step backwards towards many of the values that people held dear then. You don't want to talk politics now? Okay. Tara S.A.B is the next horse we'll see. She has won both of her starts, and she took a step forward last time when winning a Nursery at Leicester.
I'd like to work at Salisbury on Monday. Tara S.A.B, it was a competitive Class 5 Fillies Nursery that she won last time. This is quite a step up in grade, and she's got stall 1, which may well not be ideal.
Fire Palace. I don't think there'll be a problem with you working at Salisbury on Monday.
It's me or no one, I think.
I'll stop now. Fire Palace, who's progressed with each start. I really like this filly. We saw her briefly in the paddock. Andrea said is riding for Robert Edery, and she ran behind Glitter Girl, a horse who similarly has gone on for strength to strength in higher company.
Yeah, that Nursery at Doncaster over 6.5 furlongs is traditionally one of the strongest fillies nurseries of the season, and it certainly looks a solid piece of form, and there's no reason why she shouldn't run a decent race again. I think the return to 7 furlongs will be a bonus for her.
Island Vision also has form behind Glitter Girl. She ran behind her in that Doncaster Nursery. She too comes here off a career best performance, and she is drawn 16.
Yes, which certainly looks a benefit after that first race, and she's very closely matched with Fire Palace on that form at Doncaster. She had won over 7 furlongs earlier in the season, albeit on polytrack at Chelmsford, so I don't think the extra half furlong back up in trip is going to be a problem for her.
Aimé La Vie is also drawn high in 15. That could be a help to her, and she was also drawn wide at Chester last time, and it inconvenienced her in many ways. It looked like, even though on paper it was the best performance yet, she could have achieved more.
I think so. Being drawn wide there, very seldom an advantage. She was held up in the race, and she was strong at the finish. I suppose the thing about the draw might be that if they do all congregate towards the stand side, there might be traffic problems for hold-up horses such as her, such as Island Vision, trying to come through the field.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. If the fashion catches on late and they do come over to the stand side rail, then that could well be a problem for horses stuck in pockets, but we shall find out shortly. Let's talk about some of the others. Harmonise is being backed at the moment into 9-1, and she is taking a step forward with each run, really. Certainly it was her best performance last time behind Piccolo Dance in the Newmarket Nursery.
Yeah, yet to win a race, but she's steadily progressive, and a repeat of that performance last time would certainly give her a chance of making the frame.
There she is. We saw Seduce Me run last week in the sales race at Newmarket, where she won her side of the race, the far side group, in 4th place behind Accidental Agent overall. Yeah, and the fitting of the cheek pieces seemed to aid her on that occasion, and although in bare form terms you couldn't rate that performance that highly, I think you would mark it up because of the way that the field split. Next we can move to Flying North, who's the horse that both you and Paul picked out in the paddock. She got off the mark last time at Ascot in a maiden, dictating, but she is improving seemingly with experience. Yeah, and she gets an initial mark of 77, which I think is pretty generous, really, on what she did at Ascot. On pedigree, the Dam's 2 previous foals have both been horses who would have won pretty easily off a mark of 77, you would think. So there should be quite a lot more to come from her now that she's qualified for handicaps. I liked her around the Cape when she was racing. She didn't do it for very long, but she was quite likeable, and she has produced some nice horses. And this, the latest of them, Flying North, the latest of them racing. Let's move on to Honourable, who is also yet to get off the mark. She's had 4 starts so far. She's running consistently. She can be a bit keen. She can, which is why I think the drop back from a mile to 7 furlongs and perhaps a patient ride in a big field
both might be things that will suit her.
Fastnet Spin, who's a 16-to-1 shot, running for David Evans, ran well in Nursery company last time.
Yes, 1 off 70 the time before, then ran perfectly well off 76, gone up another couple of pounds. The visor seems to have helped her cause on her last couple of starts.
Any thoughts on Night Law? Do you think she did run below par last time, or do you think she was flattered the time before?
I think there's a possibility she was flattered the time before. She's certainly got a pedigree that suggests she ought not to have been flattered, but she's now up to 7 furlongs. She's got a hood fitted. Don't really like that as a profile.
I think I skipped over Romantic View, didn't I, when we were chatting?
We may not have mentioned her. She made the running last time out when she ran pretty well off the same mark that she's got here. That was over course and distance. It may well be that she'll be leading or disputing here.
High and Love ran badly last time, but the time before she had form that would place her thereabouts, and she's got cheek pieces on for the first time.
Yeah, which may be connected to a below par run last time, though it might have been ground related.
OK, last three going forward for this really interesting Fillies Nursery. It'll also be interesting to see where the jockey's up to race this time. Let's join Mark.
Internship's Fillies Nursery handicap. That's it, they're in the gates. And they're off. A step slow away was Parsnip as they go through the early stages. Amabilis again wasn't that quickly away, and is hustled up early by Franberry, and he's having to choose which group to go to, and he's coming now towards the near side. Indeed, most now coming towards this near side rail, and it is High on Love who has claimed the rail and takes the early lead. Seduce Me, the yellow colours, racing in second, and Romantic View towards the outside in third with 5 furlongs to go. Flying North is on their heels, and then the blue cap are textured against the near side rail. Ame La Vie is in midfield together with Honourable. Racing alongside that one is Fire Palace. Chased long out wide is Fastnet Spin. These are then being followed by the push long Harmonise. Next in the field is Island Vision, just in advance then of the slow starting Anabilis. Then Tara S.A.B, who's got more in front than behind. They're already through the halfway point. Night Law at the moment is last but one. The back marker is Quick Thought. Still towards the rear of the field is Parsnip. They've got 2 furlongs to go. Romantic View taken on now by Flying North towards the near side. Seduce Me is still there between rivals. Over on the far side is Fire Palace. Then on the near side is Ame La Vie, who is staying on, and so too is Island Vision. Just after these Harmonise, they race now inside the final furlong. It's Timmy Murphy and Flying North towards the near side. Island Vision. Island Vision has got the rail to help, and she's now taken the lead, and it is Island Vision and Jim Crowley. Island Vision to take the Nursery. In second place was Flying North, and then against the near side rail, Ame La Vie got up for third.
Island Vision wins for Jim Crowley and David Simcock. Jim Crowley, who's going to be crowned champion jockey for the first time in about 7 days' time. He has got another one to his tally. 11-1 Island Vision is returned for David Simcock. In second, it's Flying North for Timmy Murphy and Richard Hannon. She looked to have the race under wraps for much of the run. She was just worn down by Island Vision in the closing stages. Emily V has run another good race, still yet to win, but continues to run well. Patrick Mathers was riding for Richard Fahey, and it's close between Fire Palace and Amabilis for fourth and fifth. Here are the closing stages. Flying North is just beginning to get a little bit tired. She's beginning to edge out to her right, where Fire Palace is the initial challenger, but the final and decisive challenge comes from Island Vision.
Yeah, she's travelled really strongly through the race, the runner-up, but the winner has been stronger at the finish. Stall 16 beating stall 14, stall 15, and the horse that ran up the rails with Amabilis doing her best work at the finish. There was a bit of a difference of opinion initially as to where they were going to go, but eventually they've all grouped over towards the stand side, but the rail has been the place to be.
It has, and in the early stages it's High on Love with the cheek pieces, first time that's taken them along. Flying North has sat pretty prominently under Timmy Murphy. Alongside her in the yellow and white, Seduce Me. Keen in the early stages was Fire Palace, and that might have told in the latter stages for her.
Yes, and she's had to get across from a single figure stall as well but I think she's run pretty well. The Marbly in the pink cap just begins to get outpaced at this point of the race. The winner is travelling nicely enough, but has to find a run through from this point. Horse in the red cap.